Welcome back to High Stakes. Today, we will be discussing the following MLB matches that is happening on Wednesday, August 30th, 2023. We will be providing our team, total and prop picks for the day. Before we get started, please remember to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss any of our videos. If you want access to our premium picks, you can check out our Patreon page. You can find the link to our Patreon page in the description and comments section below. San Diego Padres vs St. Louis Cardinal. I'm siding with Arenado, Goldie and the Cardinals at home in this one. And here is why. The Cardinals dropped their fourth consecutive game in Monday's 4-1 loss to San Diego. St. Louis managed only 4 hits in the game, 2 of which came off the bat of Paul Goldschmidt, who belted his 26th home run of the season in the loss. St. Louis is now 2-8 in its last 10 games and 18.5 games out of first place in the NL Central. The Cardinals trail Pittsburgh by 3 games for 4th place in the division and have the NL's second worst record. Goldschmidt has been leading the Cardinals offensively as of late, batting .333 over the past week with a pair of home runs. He hasn't had much help though, as St. Louis has averaged only 1 run per game over its last 4 contests. Overall this season, the Cardinals are averaging 4.5 runs per game and batting .254 as a team. They rank inside the top 10 in the MLB in terms of ops, .753, and home runs, 177. Goldschmidt and Nolan Arenado lead St. Louis on the year in most categories. Arenado boasts a .276 average with 26 long balls and 87 RBI on the year. On the mound Wednesday, Miles McCollins is expected to start for the 29th time this year. McCollins is 6-10 with a 4.66 ERA and a 1.30 whip. He has lost his last 2 starts, including Friday's loss to at Philadelphia, when he allowed 8 hits and 5 earned runs in 6 innings. The 35-year-old is 51-50 with a 3.87 ERA in his 8 seasons in the big leagues. The Padres and Cardinals have been 2 of the more disappointing teams in baseball this season, as both entered with high expectations, but are now all but out of the National League playoff race. San Diego spent a lot of money this offseason, but it simply hasn't panned out. The superstars in their lineup can't seem to get going at the same time, and Rich Hill has gotten knocked around in the past month. His last 4 outings have been pretty brutal, and it probably won't get any better in this matchup against the Cardinals, who have gotten the best of Hill in his career. Paul Goldschmidt is 12 for 26, .462, with 3 home runs lifetime against Hill, and the current Cardinals are collectively batting .320, with 5 homers in 75 at-bats against him. Miles McCollins, on the other hand, has been pretty good against the current Padres roster in his career, holding them to a .215 batting average in 65 at-bats. Our total pick is over 9.5 runs. And here is why. Both of these starting pitchers have gotten rocked in their last 3 outings, and there's a good chance it means another tough day on the mound on Wednesday, for at least one of them. The last 3 games started by Miles McCollins have yielded an average of 12 runs per game, and Rich Hill has an ERA of 9.00 in the month of August. Neither bullpen is elite, and ultimately there's too much talent in the top half of each of these batting orders. If the pitchers aren't on their A game, which they haven't been in recent outings, I expect the over to hit. Milwaukee Brewers vs Chicago Cubs. Our team pick is Milwaukee Brewers. And here is why. The Cubs will have Kyle Hendricks on the mound. Hendricks was solid in his previous outing, conceding 2 runs in 5.1 innings against the Pirates but didn't get any help from the offense and was charged with a loss. The veteran has reported a weak 5.00 ERA this month, but has stellar numbers, issuing a 3.80 ERA and a 1.14 whip, accompanied by a 5-7 record in 104.1 innings on the season. Hendricks limited Milwaukee to just 2 runs, 1 earned, in July, and has registered a strong 3.51 ERA and a 10-8 record in 182 career innings. Chicago is home after going 4-2 on a road trek that concluded with 3 wins in 4 encounters with the Pirates, led by the Hot Bats. They have also yet to lose a home series in August. The Cubs stand in the last wildcard spot, holding a 1-game cushion. They stand at 7-3 in their last 10 decisions. The Milwaukee Brewers are one of the hottest squads in the big leagues, winning 9 of their last games, including a sweep of the Rangers and a series win against the Padres. The Cubs have been decent recently, but have only won 4 of the 9 meetings against the Brewers this season. Furthermore, Brewers starter Brandon Woodruff has been lights out since returning from the Illinois, allowing 2 or fewer runs in 3 of his 4 starts this month. The ace has excelled against the Cubs in his career, sporting a 3.14 ERA in 80.1 innings. Kyle Hendricks has been shaky, posting a 5.00 ERA this month. He has a weak 4.84 ERA at Wrigley Field this season. Our total pick is over. Washington Nationals vs Toronto Blue Jays. Take the Blue Jays with the run line. And here is why. The Blue Jays, 2.5 games out in the wild card race, got off on the right foot by winning the series opener after losing their last two series. They had gone 5-5 over their 10 games prior to Tuesday, and pitching had allowed 5.5 runs per game over their last 6. On the year, Toronto's staff had a 3.71 ERA over 132 games, the second best mark in the game. Bassitt picked up a loss in his last start, allowing 4 runs, 7 hits and 2 walks over 5.2 innings against Cleveland. He has allowed 4 earned runs in 3 of his last 5 starts and has also averaged 6 strikeouts per game in that span. Bassitt allowed 2 home runs in his last start and has given up at least 1 in each of his last 6 outings. Offensively, Toronto's bats put up a combined 26 runs, and on the year, they plated 592 runs over 132 games, 16th overall. They were slashing .257, .328, .415, and they had struck out just 1,069 times, 8th fewest overall. George Springer continues his best month at the plate, hitting .302 over 23 games in August after hitting just .191 in July. The Blue Jays' leadoff hitter has 13 RBIs, 15 runs and 11 walks, and is 6 for 6 in stolen base attempts this month. Presently, these matchups hold crucial significance for the Blue Jays as they strive to maintain their position in the wild card race. While they hold a superior standing compared to Washington, it is imperative for their offense to significantly elevate their performance. In their recent outing, they managed to accumulate 9 hits, albeit with only 2 of those resulting in extra bases. Given Corbin's tendency towards generating fly balls, I anticipate that Toronto's prominent hitters will adeptly exploit gaps and clear boundaries. Conversely, teams have struggled to achieve a mere .191 batting average against Bassitt when playing at Rogers Center this season. Notably, the Jays' starting pitcher has showcased his prowess by tallying an impressive 82 strikeouts across 82 innings in his home games this year. Among his victories at Rogers Center this season, a substantial 5 out of 6 have concluded with a margin of at least 2 runs. Take over 9 runs. And here is why. With a loss in the series opener on Monday night, the Nats had dropped 2 straight following a 3-game win streak. They had gone 8-4 over their last 12 games prior to Tuesday. Over their last 7 games, the offense scored 3 runs or less 5 times. This season, Washington's offense has pushed 575 runs across, tied for 19th overall, and their .258 team batting average ranks 6th overall. Joey Menezes went 2-for-4 in Monday's loss, his 10th multi-hit effort in August. The Nationals' DH hit .299 with 18 RBIs and 18 runs over his last 24 games. Washington's pitching staff has allowed 5.1 runs per game over the team's last 10 games. Their 4.87 team ERA ranked 27th overall, as did their .266 opponent's batting average. They have registered 1,000 strikeouts, second fewest of any staff, and their 476 walks were 7th most. Corbin allowed 3 free passes in his last start and has given up 11 walks over 4 starts in August. Despite that, the Nationals starter was 2-0 and had allowed a combined 7 runs over 23.1 innings in that stretch. Corbin has gone 5-2 with a 3.92 ERA over his last 10 starts. These two put up exactly 9 in their first meeting on Monday, which happened to be an over, the 3rd straight and 5th in the last 6 meetings between these two. For Toronto, it was their 3rd straight over, and the over has gone 6-4 over Washington's last 10 games. Corbin has been a mixed bag this season, and of late, he's been prone to mistakes in the form of free passes and long balls. He has allowed at least 3 runs in 9 of his last 14 starts and 5 runs or more in 3 of his last 11. Bassitt has hit a similar stretch of the season, allowing at least 1 home run in each of his last 6 starts, while giving up 2.3 walks per game on average in that stretch.